A.Ward has won Champion of the Year, and it's kind of fitting, to be honest, because outside of the previous winners, his name has probably been the most intertwined with the award. As an independent battler, Ward's ranking played a bigger role in his ability to be booked and ask for certain prices than for other battlers, so he's always really cared about his ranking.
I've already caught wind of a conversation today that happened with URL staff in regards to me battling on there, right? And literally the sentence that I was told was said was, yeah, but he finished like 20th. Like, bro, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So if somebody says that in that conversation, they're like, yeah, but he barely made the top 20, right? You realize if I would have finished 7th or whatever, if I would have finished 8th, then they might not have tried to negotiate a certain way.
So his Twitter profile said, top 10 battle rapper in the world 2018, comma, Christian.
But there's an interesting trend that sprouted through his career. While most people would line up to battle the COTY after they won the belt, Ward has managed to battle a good number of them in the year that they won it. And if you look through the battles, you can really chart his career. A.Ward's first battle against Geechee happened very early into their careers, and it's the first battle that really stuck to both of them as they went forward, largely because it was the biggest blemish in Geechee's year, and to be honest, it was his only recognized clear loss for a long time. Ward is only about 20 battles in at this point, having built up his name on King of the Dot, and you can tell it in his style. There are some creative punches.
Geechee, Gotti, that's the alias you picked for them to quote, eh? Geechee, Gotti. Well, I put it into both names. I move different.
But a lot of his material is pretty jokey.
You fake chump. Right now, Geechee mad. He want to say something. Like on Crip, cuz I don't sell weaves. It's just wigs, bundles, and lace fronts.
A lot of it still holds up today.
I done heard of rolling 60s. That's set known for trouble. But as fast as you got out of jail, what's that you with? Rolling doubles?
But you can tell that Ward is more hesitant to tackle these kinds of topics head on because he hasn't really proven yet that he belongs in the space.
So your other name is Bay Loke, and you part of the C's. Let me get this straight. You rival the Bloods, but your Crip name starts with a B. And your day ones call you, you know what, forget it, I'm with it. Let's see this clown fight. What up, Bay? Nah, bro, that don't even sound right. Got a knack for being hotter than bare feet in the summer on black pavement. It's all over. You know how hot that is. I am from the streets.
He also puts his freestyle ability on display, which even this early in his career was very good.
You hear them cheering, Gotti? That's cause I'm nice, and every step is beautiful. Your shirt say original men wear black. Good, they already prepped for your funeral. I'm going on.
As far as his wordplay, it relies pretty heavily on schemes and associative wordplay, not really giving you double meanings or great punches.
I talk that blood stuff. Whoa. Wait, that ain't a typo. AB positive. Either ride with IV or get hooked to that for a transfusion, you man. And tell Danny Myers it's gonna take a lot more to hurt the minister. I don't believe in a parallel universe. The cross was perpendicular.
You can tell he's experimenting with them a bit in ways that feel like the prototype for his runbacks later in his career.
Bus, so the cereal registered if the toy put you in a box. That's how you pop stuff. Wait, soda, cereal, the toy in a box, they said that pop stuff.
But he hasn't quite polished the style yet. His third round is the most memorable part of the battle, but it's also representative of an angle that was held against him for many years.
Keep it 38 or 45. Bro, I'm just praying that you make it to those ages. They said you got 2 sons that ain't tall enough to slap a backboard. But every week they was touching the glass at visitations. Don't that piss you off? Shit! Oh. You have a story of perseverance. You're free from that hell. You have the potential to impact people, teach them to excel. I know you want to change, but you go right back to the streets and then fail. They said I can't crack your armor. But tell me, what good is believability when it's obvious you don't believe in yourself? Look, I ain't come to get personal with you.
Many opponents and fans said he was being too preachy and judging people from a life he never lived. And while he brushed these opinions off for a while, he slowly started putting away this style of third rounds, replacing them instead with better wordplay and more battle rap focused angles. Next, we come to Geechee vs. Ward 2. Over 3 years after their first battle, Geechee and Ward had become mainstays in the culture. Geechee had just co-won the Ultimate Madness tournament and clearly beaten Loaded Logs, establishing himself as the best battle rapper out right now. And meanwhile, A.Ward had become the hottest battler to never touch a URL stage. At the time, there was a lot of discussion around whether Ward was even good enough to battle on URL, and people would constantly discredit his matchups against URL battlers on other leagues, saying they were just phoning it in for a check. That's why this battle on Geechee's own league, the Riot, was such a big deal for A.Ward. Nobody could argue that Geechee wasn't going to take this one seriously, especially since some people still gave him shit for losing to Ward. And you can see how much better Ward is by now.
Tell him why you booked Aaron and you. Cause I'm a stain on your resume. I'm a scuff on your favorite pair of your shoes. I'm a dead pixel on your flat screen. I'm a hair in your food. I'm the reason you deserted coffee like tiramisu. I did you bad, kid. I did you bad, kid, like the terrible twos. I'm bed bugs in a beautiful Sheraton room. I'm scared that it's you. I swear it's the truth. They swear I'ma lose. You can win champion ring belt every year that they choose. You can get that award. You can't get this award. So go ahead and prepare your excuse.
His rounds are way more punch heavy, with material you could hear in any battle today.
The face did the left side ugly. You starting to look like Harvey Dent more. You couldn't be in Ivy League with a Harvard test score. I'm underrated like the arm of Jeff George. Move cripperous blueprints that have an architect floors. Beating me harder than trying to guard a stretch four. Ever since Drake been putting money up, I noticed that you start to flex yours. Renting mansions out, trying to get signed. Oh, you want to be the party next door. So at the door, you went to Grambling State University. The better route, dropped out, left the town, crawled back, called smack, settled down. Your mother watched you go from an HBC to EF. You let her down. This is profound.
He shows a much better understanding of how to read the room.
We battled in 2018. Most people had me winning in their recaps. Now I'm on the Riot, a league you co-own, benefit from. Keep track. So not only did I beat you so bad you wanted your ball back, you literally paid me out of pocket for the rematch. I'm off free. You're the league owner and you're battling me. You just gonna show up and shoot the guy you booked?
But there is something missing in the substance of the battle. Because of the criticisms of Ward being too preachy in his battles, he's stripped away all the angling and deeper messages, instead just focusing on being technical at this point.
That geek squad you was with. And I ain't talking about Best Buy protection. I'm talking Ilmac, Disaster, Daylight. The rest, I forget them. Now it's Av, JC, Riggs. The West got some questions. You sold your ego and sold your ego for a stroke of people. You lost your whole left side connection. This is depressing.
And the fact that Ward and Geechee have gotten to know each other better is definitely a play too. Ward just doesn't feel as willing to tear down Geechee's character now as he was in the first battle. This is also their third time facing each other, so maybe he's just out of stuff to say, but the material also just didn't have many haymakers in general. It really feels like he got a bit too lost in being technically sound, and it took away from the final product. So it ends as a good battle that doesn't quite transcend the way the first one did. In the next year, Ward came back to the Riot to battle Ramnitty. This happened at kind of the peak of the battle rap community being against the URL, owing to a general sense that the battle quality had gone down, and on top of that, people weren't happy they needed to pay for the URL app to watch their battles. At the same time, a lot of new leagues had sprouted up, and the battlers followed suit, finally taking smaller league battles much more seriously. As a result, Ward vs. Nitty became the first battle not on URL to be crowned Battle of the Year. When you watch the battle, it's no wonder why. Rum showed up as good as he always does.
If you don't get shot, you still getting dropped today. Go across your head with a wine bottle. Break the glass and leave a Chardonnay. They was acting like I wasn't finna smoke you, my nigga. Like, you might as well forfeit. Ain't nothing stopping the horses. I said, whoa, slow down a minute.
And Ward has again evolved.
The URL cats, I be trying to have them all killed, get you all broke down, know how Babylon fell, put rum on the floor like an alcohol spill, and can make chest pads like a basketball drill. Got a 63 vet when I travel on Wells. Put a classic on the app like the battle y'all film. You on an app with your raps while my catalog builds on every server in the world like an Adderall.
Adderall pill. Keep it real.
He's really worked out how to make moments now, both with his written material.
All the Crips I'ma do greasy, cause Shug ain't do it, Arse ain't do it.
And with his freestyle ability.
If we have a fallout, we got A.Ward. It's a game changer. They gonna have to go on a mission to save you. It's game data, K-Aimer. You can't keep it real yourself. Game data, K-Aimer, K-Maker. This horse finna eat for all the naysayers.
There's an interesting note you don't pick up so much in the battle itself. A.Ward still feels like he's holding on to this really strong Ward versus everybody mentality.
Geechee hit up KP like riot event, we gotta book Ward and Knit, bruh. Yes, you do. But I don't know, in Compton he was comfortable. They were showing him big love. We gotta make him uncomfortable. We can't lose another Crip, cuz. How we gonna make him uncomfortable? Just turn it into a strip club. Not knowing the minute I walked in the door, I put 100 in the tip cup. He said, I'm going straight to hell, and I sold my soul. They switched the thing to a strip club. I had to keep it real. I ain't panicked. I brought the cross to the middle of KOD, and now I'm feeling real organic.
It sounds like jokes in the battle, but he talks a bit more seriously on it afterwards.
I heard that though, you know what I'm saying? And because you had a lot of material that was like, for this situation.
I keep it a buck, I was disrespected. I wasn't happy at all, you know? I felt like it was disrespectful.
And it's just interesting because the culture has mostly come around to him by now. But around this time, he was also talking more about the difficulties of being an independent battler.
When you are in a position to where you kind of control your career, you have to continue to impress, or people can easily forget about you, you know? So that's why the consistency's there, is because like I'm not like spoon-fed certain plates on certain platforms over and over and over to the point to where they'll keep me here even if I can fall off, you know?
That's what I'm telling you. Like, I gotta work harder than all of the guys that are on URL. It's just a fact. I gotta work harder, you know?
A machine doesn't create plates for me. Like, at the end of the day, I don't want to take anything away from what guys have done on URL because they do work hard, right? But if they have a bad battle, they could turn around and get another battle to make up for that next month. Like, they literally have opportunity after opportunity after opportunity for them, you know, because the ball just keeps rolling no matter what. You gotta fill flyers and you gotta fill events. I have to create. I have to go out and find these things. I have to make matches. I have to go perform at a high level so that RBE wants to. If I go in there and lose to Danny Myers in my debut on RBE, RBE's never worked with A.Ward. Why would they put him on the next card?
That constant pressure, especially when you battle as often as Ward does, just seems to have molded his mindset into feeling like he needs to keep proving he deserves to be here. But back to the battle itself, he's pushed his pen again.
Your Toy Stories, because this metal armor lift the alien in the air like the claw machine. Dog is...
By this point, he's trying to break down some part of his opponent's style in almost every battle, but he hasn't really developed his ability to do it yet, so it doesn't quite work.
Y'all want to learn to rap like Nitty? Cool. This how he come with lines. First, you got to pick a weapon. Now pick which word you want to use for the gun this time. Then you got to pick one of my names. You can shorten it. They still gonna react to the punch. It's fine, but this is the most important part. You got to make sure one of your setups just doesn't rhyme, because Nitty will be like, I lift bangers galore. They said he the face of RBE till I get the stainless involved. Name flips. I came with some more. It's going to be a lot of Ward and a little Kim, and the face won't be the same anymore. Ah! What? That did rhyme. Stainless involved.
He's also developed another of his special moves, the reverse punch.
You done. Rum punching around turns quickly. I grip or get one gun. Wait, reverse that. Gun one. Get a grip. I quickly turn around and punch Rum.
And remember what I was saying about everyone being against the URL right now? Ward's biggest moment from the battle taps into that beautifully.
Now this where I step in. You mad because the politics crept in? They don't understand how fast your check spins when you got 4 kids trying to collect rent, ask you to come do late notice battles on late prep when you do them favors. They don't pull through with your battles to protect them. So this is where your career with Mr. Can't Copy Respect ends. Hold up. Did we just become best friends?
He's developed so much, from being hesitant to talk seriously about any of his life struggles and coming off like he's talking down on opponents, to now being able to use his public back and forths with URL to empathize with an opponent in a way that isn't corny at all. And somehow he's so versatile by now that he's able to shift gears back to attacking Nitty to end the round.
The only time you'll ever hold a champion belt is when Geechee hands it to you before he raps. I ain't come for your spot. I came to tell them you something you not when you say you slumping some ops. So I'm gonna send you back to that Walmart warehouse, stuffed in a box, having lunch on a dock. Now you better learn to be the greatest ever at punching a clock. Look, I ain't coming.
You can see when he finishes that he and Nitty both know they've created something special. Next year, A.Ward faced Big K, and this one was kind of ugly for him. K had made it clear he didn't like Ward leading up to the battle, and then Ward felt sick on the originally scheduled day, giving K a few extra months to punch up his material. During the battle, K describes the situation a lot better than I could.
This what happened when you dodge a bullet and walk in front of the bus. What?
But that being said, Ward still comes into the battle on 10.
Verse 40 Cal, you was terrible. Your third round was 60 seconds long and light. Reed Dollars, he choked. We watched him pull out his phone for lines. Jay Mills, that battle could be thrown in rice. Clips beat you. Your late notice match with Clone was nice. So you realize the haymaker y'all used for the trailer, how we had the C3POs in life, was recycled from his T-top battle when the bear smoked this guy. You had one good round against Big T. That's 6 RBE battles in a row. He been overpriced. I don't want to hear nothing about the money you missed on me missing the closure fight. You keep paying these dogs that are supposed to strike that lately ain't even prone to bite.
You can tell a battler is seasoned when they're comfortable not giving the crowd anything to react to for a bit, because they know they're building up to a big moment that will be worth the wait. But even though his first starts on a big high, it still includes some weird moments as well.
Treated you like a prostitute for a few bucks, gave you $40 and you sucked. Past the vegetables, you lack the testicles to show up prepared for 3 rounds and rap incredible.
I've given Ward a lot of praise for pushing his pen constantly, but at this point in his career, he's started taking bigger risks, and not all of them can hit.
Ain't for the week, Ken. I was traveling home. I got a call from his chick, Ken. He put the drum flat to his dome. He did an everlasting nap. Ken, I'm wiping tears after they roll, praying God can make a way, Ken, like even Lazarus rose.
It's unfortunate for A.Ward in this battle, but in the long run, he gets a lot of respect, because even the battlers who are more recognized as top ends just don't try so much. He's also getting much more comfortable using gun bars now. For a long time in his career, he made a point not to use them because he's a Christian battler. But as he's developed, he's realized the battlers use his lack of gun bars against him. So at this point, he's now using them and then calling out that he is.
Cause if I got a shell to the dog, Ken will get the job done. They like, Ward, how is that Christian? They like, Ward, how is that Christian? You supposed to be on the other route. I can't love Romans 8 and keep a Glock 9. What the fuss about? Read the scripture and squeeze the trigger. If he dumping out, I find out this caterpillar and that's gonna fly. Cicada type to have me bugging out.
And for anyone who remembers the A.Ward battle, that's not very long after this. And after that, he stops caring entirely. The real low point for me in this battle is the way Ward angles in his third, but that's a topic to get into another day. To keep it short, he's tried to angle in a different way, exposing K rather than using information we already know.
The real reason he hangs out with all the goons and gangsters is because for the last 30 years, his family's operated one of the biggest haunted houses in Virginia. It's called Spooky Acres. That's facts.
And it really doesn't work for me, because he spends time presenting the angle, but then just spins off a bunch of jabs at it rather than bringing it to a point that gives us an adequate payoff for the time he's invested into this.
Bodies he ever saw were in storage, stuffed in a box. Let him tell it he had to rob to survive, run from the cops, like father, like son. Halloween got love from your pops, then you started dressing up and pretending to be something you're not. I got respect for the felons who needed food because they were selling it in the projects. Your family donates half the money to charity and still be killing it with the profits. Only thing I do believe is you grew up with skeletons in your closet. Because you grew up around haunted houses, I'm supposed to act like I'm scared of you?
Spooky Acres, I feel like he could have fleshed out the Spooky Acres situation a little bit better. I mean, this is me, because I'm like, I get it, but it's like,
So in all, not the best showing from A.Ward, but that's part of the reality of being an independent top-tier battler for so long. Because he's still trying to be recognized as one of the best, and because he is just so talented and versatile, he has to constantly try to add new pieces to his arsenal. And in this battle that started Big K's COTY run, we see him trying out some more bits. In other industries like stand-up, those experimentations never make it past a small crowd with no phones. But in battle rap, you have to sometimes just try these things out in your most visible matchups, which means that people will see you fall flat sometimes.
Death comes in threes. You know what else comes in threes? Your dad did.
And finally, we've reached the Tay-Rock battle. By this time, Ward had started promoting himself as the Kingmaker. So Rock, who had made it clear from the start of the year that he wanted to win COTY, was all too eager to take him on.
Everybody that's been in the run-ins for champion of the year done battle
A.Ward, he said that.
For Ward, this is a culmination of his many years refusing to sign to the URL.
You never gonna battle the Tay-Rocks. You never gonna battle the
I'm not gonna battle the guys that won't leave to URL.
I mean,
And there's like 4. And honestly, that might not be 4 anymore.
He's now going up against the face of the URL, and to some people, the face of battle rap. And he uses the moment the way he knows he should.
Lord, don't the Bible say he who was without sin cast the first stone? Then he threw rock at me, yo.
And you can tell by now that Ward has fully stepped into his own skin.
I don't even know what cottage cheese on a cracker is. But that doesn't mean that I'm not white. But I do know that I'm not white, but I'm past noise. But I do know Pokemon, and being electric don't mess with rock type. So you blast toys.
He's no longer heeding the criticism about him being a hypocrite for cussing.
And then a pussy after the bar like a one-night stand. Pussy.
And this is the most violent his material has been in this series.
His eyes swole, his lips bloody, I'm stomping out pieces, his ears cauliflower, his nose broke, I ain't stopping now either. I thought this was no studio and I'm over here knocking out features, you a tweak. Because I'm tight and I bottle up. See, you front on a lot of fights and I fight on a lot of fronts. I'm being blunt, Split his eyelid to right, yeah, it's the nicest and it's the first time Dracula had blood in his mouth and he didn't like it, yo, I'm a tyrant.
Or using gun bars.
I catch rock in the final weeks. I ain't rocking with Bible geeks. Put a Glock on a title's cheek. Take caution on that COTY road where I'm cocking the rifle geeks till someone's lifted in the air. Acknowledge your tribal chief.
Ward's also really polished his ability to freestyle, getting heavy points at the beginning of his rounds.
He talking about Spanish words. Hey, I saw Ocho Cinco. I know he can get dosed and I can go get a gun. And since you said nueve, I translate with the 9. I am that.
And sometimes even tacking on a few extra in the middle.
I hear his wrestling buddy back there booing. Yo, keep it hip hop. We do the battling, you do the wrestling. Keep your lips locked. Unless you want me to go behind his back, throw rock against the wall and get trick shot, right?
He's really turned himself into a major freestyling threat. As an opponent, you have to be careful not to say anything.
Get trick shot? Come on, I said off the wall. I said tonight. Get trick shot. He's gonna get shot. Come on. Golly, Jesus. Lord. Oh, keep it peaceful with Jesus like 5 loaves and bread. You a vampire. When daylight looking over you, you know you dead. Hey, like, get the fuck from behind me, you motherfucker!
Ward has also improved the way he mocks other styles, putting less of a lampshade on it than he'd done in the Nitty battle, but still getting across that he's making fun of rock.
It's easy to rap like rock. Yo, this a tragedy. I'm double A, triple A. Yeah, this a battery. Strap with me. Stage 5 clinger. Yeah, it's attached to me. Kalichnikov pointed at 2.
Yeah, it's got allergy, but you a That's how you ride.
The most noticeable change in A.Ward, though, is his comfort level.
I said, you know why Riot books me? Because they understand scale, but they sent Spud Webb to try to cover Grant Hill. I only took Rock so the numbers can build, and cause Twerk somewhere doing a running man still. I said,
He feels like he finally belongs here, and in a full circle, his third opens with an angle condemning Rock in a way that he really hasn't done since the COTY battle.
I've been around the streets long enough to know that if you get labeled a snitch, ain't no coming back from that. At Civil War III, you swore on your family Kid Slade was a rat. And if y'all ain't seen it, well, there's an app for that.
He's touching on street subjects, but this time he doesn't come off preachy or holier than thou. Instead, he feels like he's completely leveling with Rock.
If you gonna stand on something, stand on it. That whole paperwork thing was just corny. Especially when it's evident Smack believes in him more than he believes in your story. Are y'all rocking with this kid? Y'all rocking with this kid? Now bloggers got millions of views attached to Kid Slade name for a possible offense. There's only one answer and two options that exist. Either A, you tried to ruin the life of a man for a profit and some clicks, or B, URL is currently putting money in the pocket of a snitch. Which one is it?
Come on, my God.
The writing quality is obviously also elite, though he seems more settled in his position now, and so he doesn't take any huge risks the way he did against Big K.
Rock's kicks, man, nobody hurt. Two. Throw fist, Rock. Wait, reverse that. Rock's fist thrown too. Nobody hurt. Man, kick rocks. You will never.
And all of this brings us to this last year. Ward has been the kingmaker for so long, and when his battle against Jay the Nightwing was announced, many of us thought he was going to do it again. But the one thing that's been consistent across all these battles is his constant effort to improve and be recognized as the best. So, in the final year of COTY, it's only right that he's gone a step further and won the award himself. And few are more deserving of it than him.